Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's Elky here today with you guys. Thank you for joining for our this webinar for tonight. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so it's Elky here, and today we gonna have this session talking about how to trade candlestick. Okay, so it's a technical analysis section, a tier section. So in this seminar today, this webinar, we will be looking into some of the techniques, identifying which are those key candlestick patterns, and also try to identify the crucial moments for trading that we need to know when we are trading using candlesticks. Okay, so again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our section for today. Okay, so let's start our section for today. Okay, so before I start with my sharing today, okay, just need to go through the disclaimer. So what gonna be shared today, they are for illustration, and also of course is mainly for investor education purposes only. Okay, yeah, so what I'm gonna share, it will be based on my real life experience, how I've been using it and been practicing it from my experience as a proprietary traders, and also my trading experience throughout for the past 10 over years. Okay, so hopefully through today's section, it will be able to give you guys some insights, and also help you guys to have a better understanding on how to use candlestick efficiently, and also improve your profitability in these markets. Yeah, I know we need this, right? Especially when the market seems really weak recently. Okay, so hopefully, let's do not give up. So hopefully, we'll with the section with all these efforts that our side, my team in Interpacific, iPac Online putting in. Hopefully, we can grow together and um, mingle through these periods, and hopefully, we will be still there when the market comes back. Okay, yeah. So today, the key takeaway that I hope that you guys will able to benefit from it is, by the end of the sessions, it I hope it will help you guys to understand the basis of the candlesticks, how to identify all these important patterns, and also recognize some of the potential opportunities and critical points that can help you guys to make some trading decision at that time. Yeah. So with this, it will hopefully we can it can provide some of the steps and also idea on how to kickstart trading using candlesticks, and some other tools that could be you guys are more familiar with. Okay, so today we will start with understanding candlesticks, what are those important candles, and what are the patterns that we should be looking at, and what how we can use or execute using those patterns. Okay, and of course, then we will come to the application parts, which is identify the moments, and also how to incorporates all these things that we are sharing today into the trading strategy, and how to use it in real life. Okay, so throughout the sharing, I will be incorporate some of the examples, some of the past performance, past historical charts, all these things to help me to share more, and explain in a better manner to you guys, and also hopefully can help you guys to understand better. Okay, so thank you for joining our section today. So if you find that our section is helpful, and also it enhance your better understanding on technical analysis, and also candlesticks, please do like and follow our Facebook page, or even you can ring us up to join as our clients. Yeah, so we really appreciate for all this. Okay, or you can always like our videos, and also share our videos on social media like Facebook, Instagram, or any. All right. Okay, so let's do not further delay anymore. Okay, let's start with some revisions. Okay. Okay, so before we start to go into understanding, identify some of the important candles, let's do some revision, understanding the structure and also the build up of candlestick. Okay, so basically what I'm going to share today is really basic introduction to technical analysis and also candlesticks. Okay, so if some of you guys that have been seasoned traders, you have been trading the markets long enough, then um, this section hopefully will help you guys to review and revise on all this some of these techniques that you guys have been practicing. All right, okay, yeah. So the very first is technical analysis. So today is a really like pure technical analysis session webinar, okay, rather than my normal my monthly traders talks that we combine into some of the cycles, some of the seasonal patterns, some of the fundamentals happenings. Okay, so today is really on about TA. So what is actually this technical analysis about? Okay, so basically for me personally, TA is a very useful tool for me, whereby I have been using historical data to help me to make a an informed decision in the markets. Okay, so for example, okay, I've I've this strategy whereby every beginning of the year, I will be looking very closely into some of the consumer products. Okay, yeah. Why? Because when it comes to the early of the year, January, February, okay, usually that's near the quarterly result earnings reports. And usually when it comes to November, December, there will be a lot of purchasing, there will be a lot of mega sales, there will be a lot of buying for Christmas, preparing for Chinese New Year, all this. So I always believe that the consumer product sales will be better, and a very good chance they might able to report a better earnings in February earnings season. Okay, so with this hypothesis, it led me to look into some of the data, finding out some of all these consumer products, which how's their performance in February, and across a time span, maybe like 5 years, 10 years. Then from there, I would able to find which are those that is profitable, and that actually helped me to build a strategy based on that theory. And basically, technical analysis is exactly the same like what I've been sharing on this. Okay, whereby when it comes to technical analysis tools, let's talk about technical indicator. Then potentially like RSI. So if I see when the share price move into overbought region for the RSI, under circumstances, the RSI might give a sell signals where it's good for me to exit the positions. Yeah, so based on all this historical data that I collected, it helped me to make a a more informed trading decisions that is more scientifically proven to improve my trading results. Okay, so for technical analysis or TA, it comprises a lot of stuff like we have charts, we have different type of charts, candlestick patterns that we're going to talk today, volume analysis, support and resistance, chart formations, cycles, a lot more and more. Okay, and we have plenty of indicators to look at. Okay, so technical analysis, for many they will see, hey, technical analysis is like such a huge topic, and it's very tough for them to kickstart or start doing anything about it. Okay, but in fact, you do not need to know everything about TA just to make some profits in the markets. Okay, I always believe into one theory, which is KISS theory, which as long we keep everything simple, okay, keep it simple and stupid, and we practicing it consistently with the track records, that would help us to able to um, produce some profitable strategy and make money from the markets. We doesn't need to have fancy methods or fancy indicators to be profitable. Okay, but I always believe that we keep it simple and stupid, and do the stats record, do the hard work, and eventually that would lead us to the profitable pathway. Okay, so today what I'm going to share with you guys is a certain set of methodology how to use candlestick patterns. So after today's sections, you can go back and practice and look through the patterns whether it has been working correctly or not in your way. Okay, so from that it might able to help you to lead you into producing a high probability winning strategy. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's go continue with the chart part. So basically when it comes to technical analysis, many times we will always involve with charts. Okay, yeah, so charts basically is like a time series plots. We have different time frame and also different types of charts. So example like line charts, which is good to identify the trend. So we can see from Maybank line chart right over here, we can see it's a very strong uptrend over here. Okay, and eventually right now we are not seeing the Maybank continue to break higher. Okay, in fact, it's start coming down. The trend has been slowing down, and until it able to overtake the 11 ringgit, then only we will see the continuous uptrend in Maybank. Okay, like just what we are seeing right over here. So right now, Maybank is trading in this kind of consolidation zone. But a little bit slightly not that great on Maybank at this moment is it has been breaking the recent low, whereby it might trade even lower from here. Okay, yeah. So if it's continue to trade lower and lower high, then eventually it might form into a downtrend. So line chart is really good in helping us to identify the trend very quickly and easily. Okay, so besides line chart, we also have bar charts, open, high, low, close bar chart, OHLC bar charts, where bar chart is really a perfect tool for us to identify the chart formation immediately. Like for example, right over here, we can see it's a very clear of a flag happening over here. Okay, another flag. Okay, a very small flag happening, and this is not a flag. Flag should be short and quick. Yeah. Okay, we can see here is a wedge, our wedge. Okay, after the spike, we have another flag. Okay, so OHLC bar charts really good at helping us to identify the patterns, while candlestick chart is more towards the commonly used chart type nowadays. Okay, so and that also what we're gonna focus and looking in today. Okay, so basically candlestick chart, it comprises of all these candlesticks that also known as Japanese candlesticks, okay, which developed since 1600 era in Japan, and it's just started to trade just started to use to trade rice, in fact. Okay, so with the candlestick, it actually helps us to identify the momentum and the directions of the markets, and this is how the structure it built. It is okay for. So for the candlestick, basically we have the body, okay, and then we have two tails, or you can call it shadow. Okay, so the tail above the body over here, then it's called upper shadow or upper tail, or some of you guys will call it wick. Okay, WICK, wick. Okay, and the lower one will be lower shadow, lower tail, or lower wick. Okay, all right. So how this candlestick being formed is, let's say for green candlestick. Okay, then it basically telling us that the share price opens the share price opened at the low, and then it traveled all the way up to the high, and then close higher than the opens, which forming a green body. Okay, as for the red candlesticks, it telling us that after it opened, the share price travel lower and then close below the opening price. Okay, and that is a red body candlestick. Okay, and basically the tail or the shadows, they are just marking the highest of the day, or the lower shadow marking the low of the day. Okay, yeah. So if we look into the intraday chart wise, this is how it will looks like. Okay, where we can see for these stocks, this securities, it opened at this point and then slightly drop a bit, and it recovers that all the way up, especially when the rally took place in the afternoons, uh, and then reached the high, and in the end closed near the high. So that's why we can see it has a very small, very short wick, upper shadows and lower shadows, and then it's a very long green body candlestick. Okay, yeah. So it's really easy to understand the candlesticks. Um, so basically, it's telling us the open, high, low, close for the day. Okay, but on the other hand, we for some of you who has been looking through some of the charts or this thing, you might come across another a variation of candlestick, which is called hollow candles. Okay, whereby you might see some of these candles, instead of the green body, you might see it is in white, or it's in white body. Okay, basically hollow candles is slightly different from the traditional Japanese candlesticks that I have shared just now. Okay, one thing that very different about hollow candlesticks is um, the body can be hollow or it can be filled. Okay, yeah. So one point that is differentiate the traditional candlesticks and also hollow candle is, for traditional candlestick, it doesn't take into account of it doesn't take into account of previous closing, whereby for hollow candlesticks, it's also taking into consideration of previous closing. Okay, so for those candles that's showing a hollow body, it is telling us that it the close the share price, it closed higher than the opening price. While if it's in green, it is also telling us that the share price have moved higher than previous session closing. Okay, yeah. So if we are seeing a red hollow body candles, it is telling us that the share price closed higher than the opening, but unfortunately, it is below previous day closing. Okay, yeah. So meaning, the candles, the candlestick for that shares, it's still in negative, is still closed lower compared to previous day, but it is closing higher than the opening price for a red hollow body candlestick. Okay. On the other hand, if we are seeing a filled body, it is telling us that, okay, the share is closed lower than the opening price. And if it is in red, it means that the closing price is even below than the previous day closing. So if we are seeing a red and also a fill body, that's telling us that, oh, the selling pressure could be really strong right over there. It's below yesterday closing, and the closing is even below the opening price. So it means the selling pressure is like really strong over here. Okay. On the other hand, if you're seeing a green field body, it's telling us that the share price managed to close higher than the previous day. Okay, but it is closing below the opening. So it might open higher than previous. It opened higher than the previous day closing. It opened higher today, but at the end of the sections, it wasn't able to hold above the opening price, meaning the buying momentum could be faded off, and selling pressure, profit taking might came in, and in the end, the share price closed below the opening price. Okay, with that, we will get a green field body. Okay, so never mind. If you're confused, we have charts to help you later. Okay, but let's look at some of the charts, some of the examples whereby we can see some of the most of the time you will see it's a hollow green candles, which telling us that it's a very strong up move, strong uptrend. Okay, but in between, especially when it comes to near to the highlight right over here, you can see it form a green field body candles. Okay, yeah, see, same thing right over here as well. Meanwhile, for the red candles, most of the time you will see a red filled candle, okay, red filled candles, but from time to time you might see some of the red hollow candle like happening right over here, okay. Yeah. So it's really up to you whether you would want to use the traditional candles or you want to use these hollow candlesticks to help you to understand better. Because for some people, they will believe that with these hollow candlesticks, it's helped to better indicates the momentum and the trends, and it also helped them to kind of like rank the strength of the momentum. Whereby, if we are seeing a green candles with hollow body, then it's telling us that wow, this is the bullish momentum of all. Okay, but if it's still hollow and but it's in red, then it's telling us that the bullish momentum might be kicking in, whereby the selling pressure could be easing off and buying supports could be coming in as the closing um, has been higher than the opening price. Meanwhile, for those green candles that with a filled body, that could be an indication for some traders that it could be signaling a potential bearish momentum or weakening buying interest in the markets, whereby profit taking could be coming in. People are selling and even pressure below the opening price, and on the next day, it could turn into a continuous selling pressure. Okay, whereby in the end, the very last one will be the red candles that with a few body, which telling us that's the strongest bearish momentum at all, and everyone is selling and pressuring down. Okay, yeah. So basically, this is how it looks like. Whereby, for the hollow body, it's always at more towards at the bullish sides, and with the few body, it's more towards at the bearish sides. All right. Okay, but today we're not gonna go into these hollow candles. We will still use back the traditional candlestick as our reference and look into it. Okay, to reduce some of the confusions. Okay, unnecessary confusion. Okay, so we will still stick with the traditional candlesticks, but this is an additional knowledge for you guys on this hollow candlestick. Yeah, because sometimes from time to time I have some clients that might come to me and they ask, "Hey, Elky, why? How come this chart it has a fill body, it has a hollow body, a white body? What's actually the difference of this?" Yeah, so I thought it would be good to share with you guys. Okay, so let's start with the number one, some of the important candles. Okay, so basically for candlestick reading, I would say that it shouldn't be that hard. Whereby, for me, many people or many traders or many of my clients, they complain to me and say, "Hey, okay, candlestick is very hard to learn, to remember, to memorize because there are so many patterns over there. There are so many variations." So how to go about it? Okay, so for me, I always use this method whereby I just remember some of these important ones. Yeah, for the very first one is always my favorite, which I always use them to indicate and telling me the trend and also the direction of the market, the momentum of the market, which is Marubozu. Okay, Marubozu basically is a long body candle. Okay, long body candlestick. Okay, with no tail at all. Okay, no shadow at all, or just a very little short wick over there. Okay, or or shadows or tails. Okay, usually I call it tails. Okay, it's either no tails or a very short tails. Okay, it's telling us the buying pressure is so strong, or the selling people are really selling. There could be panic, or even funds who are selling the shares. Okay, whereby the selling pressure is so strong. It opened the since it opened, the selling pressure has been coming continuous and pressuring down, selling the share and until the closing bell. Okay, same thing for the green Marubozu. It's telling us that since the opening, everyone has been buying it, and in the end of the day, it closed at the day high. Okay, that would really tell me that wow, the interest and also the momentum is like so strong over there. Okay, so Marubozu is always an indication for me to identify the market whether it's doing very good or the momentum is it over there or not. And if we look into some of the chart right over here, you can see all this arrow we can see right over here. We have like literally there's no tail kind of candles Marubozu. We have a bearish Marubozu over here, right over here, and also a bullish Marubozu over here, 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 and here. Okay, yeah. So you can see all these candles that I have picked up or highlighted. They are full body without any tails. Okay, yeah. So but is that the correct way of identifying Marubozu? Okay, do you guys believe that this is the correct way to identify Marubozu? Okay, for me, I will look it slightly different from just following the patterns. Okay, right. Instead of looking at whether it has tail or not, okay, I would accept it as long the tail is not really that long, as long the tail is short in comparison in relation to the candlestick body. Okay, and also I will identify it is a Marubozu if the candle body is long, is very long in relative to its recent candles. Okay, so for example, right over here, this one that I circle, I would be seeing that okay, for the past few candles, the candles has been moving in a very short body, and this long green candle, okay, the candlestick body is much longer than any of this over here. Okay, although it has slightly a little bit of tail, okay, but we can see the body is significantly longer. Okay, and also it's longer than its reason all these candlesticks. So this is an indication for me, telling me that the bullish momentum, the bullish sentiment is over there. Okay, that would help me to get an idea that the market bullishness is over there, the buy interest is there. Okay, similarly, okay, as it continue to trade higher, okay, we can see after this bullish candlestick, it has trading higher and then pull back. But we can see that the pullback, the retracement, it happened with small red candles. Okay, some of it with tail some more. Okay, yeah, and eventually we have another long green candle happening over here on the second arrow that I mark. Okay, so you can see in comparison to the recent candles, okay, recent especially the last swing, all the candles, they are significantly smaller compared to these green candles. Although it has a little bit of wick, okay, maybe you cannot see from there, but next time I try to put it 1000 4D, then maybe you can see the wick, but it has slightly a little bit wick over there. Okay, but for me, I would see this as a Marubozu. Okay, and that actually tells me that the buying sentiment is there, and especially this is a continuation of the buying. So I will be really interested and seeing that the buying interest could be very strong over here. Okay, yeah. So you can see what happened next is we can continue to have uh, a few more long green candles happening. And similarly right over here, you can see after some rally, okay, when it comes in February, there was some pullback, some retracement, profit taking on the recent rally, but it's still much smaller compared to these long green candles that we are seeing that I've been highlighted over here. Okay, yeah, so that's another Marubozu to tell us that The buying sentiment, the buying momentum is still there. The market still wants to go up, go higher. Okay, so we can see it's keep on going up and up. Okay, yeah, all right. So, however, with the breakout, all this, we can see the candle, they are getting smaller, and then we have a much bigger red candles, but it has a longer wick, okay, a longer tail, okay, over there, and immediately it covered with a bullish engulfing patterns that I'm going to share with you all later. But ignore the bullish engulfing. If we just look at the green candles, we can see it is a very long green candles that overshadow the red candles. And from there, the market continue to trade higher. Okay. Yeah. Then you might come and ask me, hey, okay, then why after the rally over here, why don't you mark any of things over here for continuation of the Marubozu? Okay, so for me, I didn't mark it because I'm not sure if this is a gap down or a dividend. It could be a dividend. So if we take off the dividends and adjusted it accordingly, then it might continue to, it might be over here, the share price. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this could be the dividend on the gap downs. Okay, but eventually we can see as it covered the gap, immediately we can see the bearish candles start coming in. Okay, bearish candles start coming in. Okay, yeah, and start to dominating the whole sentiment, and eventually it went stalling until we're seeing the significant green candles again. Okay, so for me it's very simple. Is as long as I read the chart and I follow the chart, the candlestick form is much significantly larger than the recent candlesticks, and that could tell me the direction, especially if the candlestick have very short wick or don't even have any wick or tails. Okay, and that would be a very strong indication of the direction for me. Okay, yeah, so I won't be too emphasized on whether it has a tail or it doesn't have a tail. Okay, but it's more towards how the body it looks like. And similarly, like right over here, we can see the upward green candles. They are getting smaller and smaller. Okay, and eventually we have a much larger red candles. Okay, and again another larger red candles that overshadow all these small little tiny candles, and that tells us the selling pressure is kicking in, is there. Okay, so all this they are prepared for the sell down in August. Okay, yeah, whereby people are profit taking. There are some worry, all this thing, and then eventually we have a very quite a massive drop in early of August. Okay, yeah, and fortunate enough is we have a very quick rebound and recovering, piercing, and eventually broke higher, and that's reinstate the confidence on Maybank. Okay, in our local Bursa Malaysia markets. Okay, so that's how we can read Marubozu. And for me, Marubozu is very important, whereby it tells us where is the market interest, where is the direction, potential directions. Okay, so if I see all the candles are with a very small body, then that could be telling us otherwise. Okay, but if I'm seeing this stocks has been trading with a small bodies, and suddenly we have a very long green candles happening, and that could tell me that okay, the market could be pointing to that. Let's say it's a long green candle, then pointing towards an upwards direction. Okay, so another one that we will be looking at it is a long leg candles, or some of you guys can say it's a long tail candles. Okay, the official name is a long leg candles, and this is another candlesticks that I would always emphasize and also pay attention at, because this is the candlestick that would tell me a potential reversal, a potential high, or a potential bottoming. Right. Okay. So personally, I would prefer the tail to be at least 2 times longer than the candle body. Okay. Then only from there it will be a very much significant tail that we are seeing. Okay. So you can see that many times all this long tail long tail candles, it happens after a rally. Okay, especially the long upper tail one. Okay, it happens after a series of rally most of time. Okay, because that actually telling us that people are profit taking. The share price continue ramp up, but eventually on the same day itself, there were some profit taking going on. Okay, on its recent rally, and especially if the candle close in red, that is actually telling us that the closing price is even below the opening price, and if we are seeing a continuous selling pressure, we then the trend could be going into a retracement mode. Okay, like what we are seeing over here. Okay, yeah. So this one we can see is first is a long green dragonfly doji. Okay, and also we have another long leg candles over here, but we do not see the further selling pressure. Okay, yeah. So we will cover more when we talk about uh shooting star leader. Okay, so similarly, for the long lower tail candles, okay, long leg, the lower tails one, then we will be seeing many times it happens near after the markets has been pulling back and starting preparing for a rebound. Okay, yeah, especially those green one. Okay, green ones. This is red ones. Okay, the red ones. Okay, yeah. So basically long leg candles is telling me that a potential reversal, a potential bounce off from current trends. Okay, but if you have engaged some of the counters like Nestle, you can see there are so many tills here and there. Okay, or maybe Dutch lady. Okay, yeah. So across some of these company, okay, if you encounter it has so many long legs candles, it doesn't mean that this company suka suka today swing up, suka suka today swing down. Okay, it could be due to it has a very much lower issue shares and also a much lower floating shares in the markets, whereby the spread could be much larger. Okay, the spread could be bid ask spread could be much larger, but easily just anyone take just one lot or two lots, it can be just swing all the way up and swing all the way back down, forming the tail. Okay, so when you are when you encounter all these counters that which all these very long leg candles, you really want to check the number of floating shares over here, which you can find it from our platform under fundamental data. Okay, you can see that the balance floats that floating in the market, how much is it? Okay, then then only from there you might want to decide whether you want to invest in this counter buy and hold, or you want to still really want to trade it, which I don't recommend too. Okay, yeah. So after long leg doji, then long leg candles, then the next we're gonna have is doji. Okay, doji. From time to time, you might see some of these doji with very small body, very small tails. Okay, some of the small body with long tails, which that tell us the market is indecisive. It swing up, it swing down, and in the end, it closed near the opening price, which the investor, the traders do not know where to go. Okay, and for this dragonfly doji, you can take it as very similar like a long leg candlestick, whereby uh, the share price after traveling down and in the end is still recoup all the losses and also close near the opening. Okay, or a graveyard doji, which telling us that the share price have been travel up so much and in the end it lose steam and then close near the opening. Okay, so doji wise, if you're seeing this three doji is telling us the market do not know where to go. It might be stagnant, it might be stalling, it might be trying to test up and down. Okay, yeah. So for the doji, if you are seeing doji you might do not want to engage the markets if you, especially if you are trend traders. Like for example, on Tenaga TNB over here, we can see that in the month of August all the way until early of this year, 2024. Okay, August 23 until early of this year, we can see that Tenaga has been stagnant around 9 ringgit 80 cents to 10 ringgit. So in between over here during the stagnant, the sideways movements, we can see there are a lot of doji forming because the market has no direction whether it's gonna go higher or it's gonna come lower. Okay, but sometimes you might encounter some of these counters that have even just a dash or doji most of the time. Okay, so if you are seeing all this most of the time you might see they have a very huge market cap whereby the buy and sell quantity is really huge, and the price could hardly move very strongly into and direction a directions. Okay, yeah, so usually this kind of stocks is more towards smart money kind of counter that we are talking about. Okay, so personally, I would say that if you are trading based on technical, then you might really want to avoid this kind of doji chart pattern kind of counters. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So that basically covers the what are the potentials candlestick that we will see in the markets. Okay. Basically, every time when we look at the chart, the very first thing that we really want to see is for the past maybe 5 to 10 candles, is there any relatively strong green, strong candles, a long body candles? Okay, if yes, and that could be the directions of the market for now, the sentiment. Okay, yeah. Or if the from the charts, if you're seeing your stocks has been trading in a very strong trend, okay, and you do not know whether you should exit or hold on to it, then you can always refer to the long leg candles to see if it's gonna hint you on any potential reversals. Okay, yeah. And last but not least, for doji, if you are seeing the shares that you're holding, just trading with doji is telling you that the for it's either the volume is there's not much volume for these stocks, or it has been just stagnant, don't know where to go. Okay, so from there you might want to wait, or we look back into the fundamental and also the catalyst to see whether you want to still hold on to it or not. Okay, or better put your money into some other performing counters. Okay, so after identifying some of these important candles, then we will be looking into the patterns. Okay, so these are all the patterns that we're gonna cover today, and this is the candlestick patterns cheat sheet that it can help you to understand all the patterns that are available. Okay, so from here we can see we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 more than 20, almost 30 candlestick patterns over here, and each of every single box it has two, so that's concludes that's sum it up to be a total 60 candlestick patterns. Okay, yeah, if I'm gonna talk through all these 60 patterns, then we might have to talk until like time for supper. Okay, so basically I won't be going through every single of it. Okay, but I will be sharing with you guys how to look through some of the important ones. Okay, because many will be saying, wow, what are all these patterns? What abundant baby lah, what stick sandwich lah, what bullish cake, what star here and star there, what soldier, what crow. Okay, there are so many fancy names, there are so many different candlestick patterns over there. Okay, and really we do not need to memorize all of it. Okay, just keep focus on some of those that is popular, critical, the key reversal patterns, and then understanding how to trade using them. Identify where is the confirmations for the executions, and if you want, you can even blend the candlesticks into patterns to get to know how the patterns actually it is. Okay, to identify the directions. So with the blending of candlesticks, in the end, it will always come back to either Marubozu, long leg candles, or just the doji. Okay, yep, right. So we're not going to focus on blending the candlestick today. We don't have enough time for that, but we will be looking through some of these bullish candlestick patterns and also bearish candlestick patterns. Hopefully that can help you guys to read the candlestick better. Okay, so if we look into bullish and bearish candlesticks, basically I have paired them up. I have 6 pairs over here, which each of them they just associate with each other. So let's start with hammer. Okay, so basically hammer is like the tall hammer whereby we have the body right over here, and it actually telling us that the share price it opened, um, it has been selling down all the way and it managed to recover to close even above the opening price. Okay, so this bullish candlestick pattern, the hammer, it usually will be significant and also useful when it happens during a downtrend. Okay, so after you see a series of selling down, a series of red candlesticks trading lower, and eventually when you see a hammer forming, that is telling us that a potential bullish reversal might come. Okay, so how to execute on it? Okay, if you are interested to buy on this hammer. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, so how to trade on it? Okay, so what we need to do is we don't buy on the hammer itself on the day. Okay, what we need to do is we need to wait for the next day, whereby for the next candle for the price to travel and violates above the previous high candles, the high of the previous candles. Okay, so that marked the confirmation of the reversal, and from there we might see a strong trend uh, forming. Okay, yeah. So if the trend is strong, it might recover all the way until the starting of the whole the selling swing over here, which if I'm seeing right over here that it might recover all the way up here to test the resistance. Okay, and similarly on if we look into some of the examples, like one of it is like EcoWorld, we can see it formed into a long leg. It doesn't have body over here. It's more like a doji. Okay, but they are pretty much the same. It also means that the share price has been traveling lower, and then in the end close. It doesn't close higher, but it closed at the opening price. But still, it recovered from the selling. Okay, so when the next day when it trade above the previous day candles, previous candles high, and that would confirm the reversal, and we can see the share price has been traveling higher from then. Okay, from there. Okay. Similarly, on in early of 2023, okay, we can see that I form a hammer. Okay, a hammer, but do notice that this is a red red color hammer, whereby it telling us that the share price recovered, but it wasn't able to recover all the way to turn into a positive. Okay, so from there we can see that's why the next day the selling pressure tried to take another attempt to trade even lower below the tail. Okay, but it wasn't able to break the previous day low, and it rebounds and recovered all the way. Okay, yeah, so for this same thing, the confirmations of the bullish confirmation will be at the high of the previous candle, which is over here. Okay, yeah, so we can see after it has break up and trade even higher, the share price eventually stalling and then just keep on pressuring upwards. Okay, yeah, similarly on this one right over here, we can see the confirmation, it comes as it rebound and break the previous candle high, and since then it has been moving higher. And the last one over here, okay, yeah, it has the reversal happening over here, and it went into a very long stalling before we can see the rally. Okay, so if you have engaged with this hammer candlestick pattern, then how, if the price gone stalling, so what should you do? You either can wait, or you can always follow the stop loss, which is at the low of the tail. Okay, so if the price selling down and then break the low, then that would indicate that this reversal signal over here, okay, it might no longer being significant anymore. Okay, right over here we can see it's still forming the tail. It's telling us that this is the area that is the rejection area, and then the share price could move higher from there. Okay, yeah, so if we see the share price coming down and cover the tail, overshadow the tail, then we might see a further selling. Okay, yeah, just like right over here we can see that is this one is not selling, is during a sideway it formed a long tail candles. Okay, so you can see at the break of 66 cents it pressure even lower to 64 cents. Okay, yeah, so very similar to, and looks very identical to hammer. Okay, next we have hangman. Hangman, it looks pretty much the same like a hammer, but the different part is it is in red color, meaning it closed below the opening price, and it would be significant if it comes after string of green candles. Okay, so if we see hangman coming in after a series of rally, okay, it tried to pressure lower, but in the end it also recoup some of the losses and then close slightly below the opening price. That actually indicates a potential a continuous selling pressure on the next day or following days. Okay, so if the next day or following days, if we continue to see the selling pressure to come in and then overtake the low, okay, overtake the low of the previous candle before the hanging man, that would confirm the bearish view of the markets, and from that the market could be reversing on the upward trend. Okay, yeah, so hangman, although it looks pretty much similar and identical to hammer, but it is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern, while hammer is a bullish reversal candlestick. Okay, so you can see an example right over here on Genie Tech. Okay, uh, the next ones we are seeing is inverted hammer. Okay, so basically it's terbalik punya hammer lah. Okay, uh, it's a terbalik punya hammer whereby the share price it open at the low after a string of red candles or reason selling down. Okay, it tried to rebound, but unfortunately the rebound wasn't that successful, and in the end it closed much lower, leaving a long tails. Okay, yet the closing price is higher than the opening price. That's something to celebrate. Okay, yeah, so that actually indicates that the buying pressure could still remain there, even it's not that strong, but still it is higher than the opening price. Hence, if the next day we are seeing a continuous buying pressure, okay, and break the previous candle high, and that could be indicating us that the buying pressure could resume. Okay, so if you are wondering, okay, why I didn't use this candle high, but instead I've used this, is because on the previous day, you can see that the inverted hammer has attempted to break trade higher than the previous candle high. Okay, but eventually it leave a long tails. long tail. So on the next candle or the next few candles, we need the we need to see a strong buying to break not only the previous day candle, okay, the nearest candle to the inverted hammer candlestick high, okay, and break overtake the high to tell us that okay, right now I have performed better than the inverted hammer, and I even break be above the previous straight candles. Okay, that would give the confidence to the market traders that the market is really have the momentum and really poised for a potential reversal. Okay, so where we can see is we can see from here CMB form a inverted hammer, and as it rebound to break higher from 5 ringgit 20 cents, it went all the way up to 5 ringgit 60 cents. Okay, in about a month time. Okay, that's near to a 10% increase in blue chip stocks of Malaysia. Okay, yeah. So shooting star is very similar to is the bearish version of inverted hammer, but the name is called shooting star. Okay. So same thing. It's also look exactly the same like inverted hammer, which is a toping punya hammer. Okay. Or a terbalik punya hammer. Okay. So with this, it's telling us that after a series of rally, the share price tried to go higher, but in the end, it closed lower. Okay, and that actually telling us that hey, people start taking profits already, and on the next day if the selling pressure triggered and someone is selling heavily, uh, eventually we will see the selling interest to come in and then overtake things and pressure it downwards. Okay, with the confirmation similarly to hammer, which is at the break of the previous candle low. Okay, so some example for shooting star. Okay, we can see for YTL Power over here, it has rebounded, tried to attempt the high at 4 ringgit 20 cents, and from there it formed a shooting star, but it takes a very long time to then only able to overtake the long green candle over here. Okay, so that's why as the time it passed by, the selling pressure diminishing, and it wasn't that strong as it was previously. Okay, so the one that we can see is much bigger, much stronger. It will be right over here in April, about near to April 15, whereby the share price has been forming a bottom, trying to rebound, and eventually they met with shooting stars and pressure lower from there. Okay, yeah. So eventually, even though it was a selling pressure, but is the whole YTL power still trading on the sideway, and eventually it has picked up on the breakout of the consolidation block and then continue to trade higher. Okay, yeah. So from here we can see again it formed another shooting star, and at the break at 5 ringgit 20 something cents, we can see that it has right on the selling pressure and then been going lower from there. Okay. Uh, the next one will be bullish engulfing, which just now I have mentioned. Okay, it's basically a two candlestick pattern whereby the green candle, the the whole body is much larger and overshadow the previous red candles, including the tails are more. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's telling me that this bullish engulfing it cover all the way. It's today it's even close higher than the previous day closing. Okay, previous day high, actually previous day high. Okay, telling me that this buying interest is like really strong. Okay, with the confirmation will be on the nearest previous candle high. Okay, some of the example that we can see is Tenaga possess a very good sample over here, whereby we can see as it was trading near the bottom, there were buying support coming in, and every time as the pressure lower, especially at the opening, it just keep on taking it up and then close near the high. And eventually with the bullish engulfing, um, stating the buying supports, eventually we can see the Naga has been trading higher from there. Okay, so sometimes when you're trading on a consolidations, when the market is just going on sideways on consolidations, or it is pulling back from the high but still not so much on the selling, bullish engulfing could be a good signal for you to indicate that, hey, maybe the buying interest is coming. Okay, and many times the bullish engulfing is a very long body candles, which we can take it as a marubozu as well. Okay, but of course, like I said, we really want the tails to be like really short if we are talking about marubozu. Okay, on the reverse side, which is bearish engulfing, which is after a series of rally, it forms a red candles that overshadow the green candles, and as it break below the nearest previous candle low, okay, and that confirms the selling pressure. Okay, some examples over here that we have is like auto count. Okay, auto count, whereby you can see as it was trading higher, it formed bearish engulfing. Okay, it formed bearish engulfing, and that could be the indication of a potential profit taking, which happens about like 2 months later. Okay, yeah. So with the bullish with the bearish engulfing, that is actually telling us that the selling interest has started kicking in. Okay, and we really want to be really careful on the counter itself. Okay, so the last three pairs. Okay, we're gonna go with piercing patterns, whereby piercing is another two candlestick pattern. Basically, what happened on piercing is a bullish reversal pattern, whereby the share price it opened below the previous day. Okay, it opened below. Supposedly, as the share price opened below, we should expect more selling pressure to pressure it down. But instead of keep forming another red bearish candle, it just dropped slightly and recover all the way, rebound more than 50% of the yesterday trading range. Okay, that's telling us that you might really want to look into it, because the buying interest start coming in ready. Okay, with the confirmation as it overtake the previous candle high, telling us that it breaks the previous high, previous section high of the nearest red candles. The buying interest has been stronger and then pressuring upwards. Okay, so from HT Padu, we can see that despite it opened at the previous section low, it recovered all the way, even tested the high of the previous sections, and from there it has been pressuring upwards. We can see from right after these piercing patterns, there are more green candles than the red candles, and most of them they are much stronger in green. Okay, uh, as it's stalling at 2 ringgit 40 cents, and the breakout from there, we can see immediately another 1 ringgit higher. Okay, 1 ringgit higher is like really crazy, man. Okay, 3.4 divided by 2.4, that's equivalent to 41% of returns in just like 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Okay, but of course, if you started to buy since here in August, then that would take much longer. Okay, yeah. So similarly, the bearish version of piercing pattern will be dark cloud cover, whereby it's another two candlestick patterns. Similarly, the idea is the same. You can see we can always talk about, we can always try to interpret the candlestick from the market behavior, whereby for this, for that cloud cover, the share price attempt to trade higher, it opened above the previous day high. Okay, previous day high. Try to pressure even higher, but no one is supporting. Okay, no one is keeping the share there, but traders, investors, they are selling. Okay, and that even pressure lower to drop more than half of the previous day trading range. Okay, so that would create the alarm towards all the traders, investor that okay, today this one is a field breakout. It tried to trade higher, but it wasn't able. Okay, so if we continue to see selling pressure to come in and breaks the low, okay, the 3 days low, okay, 1, 2, 3, the third 3 days low, okay. From there, we are seeing a potential selling continuations, okay, or even a reversal in the uptrend, right? Okay, so for top graph, we can see that it has formed a piercing, and eventually it continue pressure lower on the next day, which trigger a series of selling and dumping in the top graph share price. Okay, uh, the very next one is Morningstar, which is very similar to Hammer setup. So basically, for Morningstar, okay, it's very similar to Hammer, whereby the Hammer pattern we just changed into a very tiny small dojis. Okay, yeah. So if we change it to doji, basically the trigger, the application, it is the same. So you can see after so many patterns, different patterns, we can always see that the setup, the trigger method is pretty much the same, whereby we really want to look for some long leg patterns, some reversal signals, and it break the reason or the previous section red candle high, then that's would be our confirmation for a potential reversal and trade higher from there. Okay, so similarly on Morningstar, it's looking at the high of the first candle to trade higher. Okay, whereby for AX we can see after the recent selling it formed a small candles and then followed by a strong buying breakout, and from that it formed into a Morningstar patterns. Okay, yeah. So evening star is the reverse of the morning star, whereby instead of shooting star, we change it with a small doji, and as the pressure lower of below the first the recent green candles low, then we would expect a potential follow through in the selling pressure. Okay, yeah. So we can see this is a very long tail hammer, and then a pressure lower to trade lower from there. Okay, last but not least would be three white soldier, whereby it consists of three white soldier is over here. Why is it called three white soldier? Is because in candlestick they have green field body candlesticks, and also some of old timer they might be using white candlestick, white body, hollow body, okay, just with the line in black, okay, while the field candle is in black or in red, okay. Yeah, so three white soldier is it telling us a three long green candle, long green tree, not to say long green, but it's a more significant body kind of candles, okay, significant body size kind of candles, okay. So consecutively we see long three white soldiers, okay. It's telling us that the bullish trend could be there as long the share price doesn't trade below the low of this white soldier, okay, then we should see more buying pressure across some time, or even establishing into a very strong uptrend. Okay, why is this so? Is because if today we are blending all these three candles together, meaning if I make the current 1 day candlestick pattern, 1 day candlestick become 3 days, combining 3 days candlestick become one. Then from there we should see these three candles will be combined and become a Marubozu, which telling us the direction of the markets. Okay, so if any pullback and breakout, that will give us a confirmation of the continuation of the buying and from there we could buy on the breakout for the uptrend. All right, okay. As for three black crows, that's the inverted version of it, whereby the selling pressure is strong, and we are seeing weak bullish momentum, and continue turn bearish and break lower for a follow through in the selling. Okay, so with the three black crows, it helped us to affirm that the bearish trend is ongoing and could continue to trade even lower. Okay. All right. So some examples on the three white soldier and also the three black crows is you can see from here, as the top class has been trading higher, you can see it from three black crows, and then it has been trading even higher. Okay, and the three black crows that I'm looking at it is more towards at this area rather than here, because we can see there is much lesser tail happening in between, and their size is more similar to each other, more identical to each other. Where by over here we are seeing tails every here and there, and also the candlestick body, they are not really similar to each other, not really that identical. Okay, we need to be more that identical one, which is telling us that every day the market has been selling and or has been buying for the three white soldier case. Okay, market just opens slightly higher or slightly lower, and then it right all the way into that direction. So that actually tells us the momentum is like really strong, like what Marubozu tell us. Okay, yeah. So, but of course, when we are trading on this, there's always a concern whereby if we just jumping in on the next day after three white soldier or three black crows, okay, it's give us the worry and also the fearfulness about selling into the last leg or even buying into the last leg. Yeah. Okay, because if the share price has formed like this, three long candles, bearish, three long body bearish candles, it could be a very strong. It has been dropped. It could be been dropping too much already and gone into oversold region, whereby a rebound might be coming in before we can continue see it to it trades lower. Okay, which happened much later over here in 2021. Okay, yeah. So from here we can see with this three dark candles, three black crows, it actually lead to a selling on top glove all the way below 1 ringgit from current price right over here 6 ringgit 02. Okay, yeah. So basically that would be the idea of it. Okay, yeah, that would be some of these important candlestick patterns whereby most of it they are reversal signals. Use it for reversal and how to execute it accordingly for the reverse, and then right on the, it could be riding on the trend, or it could be trying to trade on all these critical moments that we're gonna share shortly. Okay, yeah. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to put into the chat box, and then we will look into it. Okay, meanwhile, I have one question from should be Mr. Peng or Mr. Chia. Okay, so Mr. Chia, I believe. Okay, he asked, most if not all indicators are time lagging. It may not be reliable. Is there any other methods that give more reliable and accurate forecasts? Okay, so basically for those who are trading on technical indicators or technical analysis, okay, candlestick is the most reactive and least laggard that I would say. Okay, so I do know some of the traders, or personally myself, I also do some of the uh, bear charts, meaning naked chart reading, whereby I just look at candlestick and read where's the markets. But of course, to make a very good judgment on where to buy and sell, okay, we need to combine with other tools available, which I'm gonna share with you guys right over here. Okay, so how to define the critical point, critical moments to make a buy or sell call. Okay, So how do we set up the steps to execute using it? So just now we have been looking so through all these patterns, and then we are talking about it reverse breaking previous candle high, then I can buy, but it can happen anywhere. Okay, preferably for bullish reversal candlestick, we want it to have been trading lower and then form this candlestick pattern, rebound, breaking the previous candle high that I buy. Okay, uh, so what else that I can look at, okay, to time it more accurately, okay? So how to find these points? So to do it, one way that we can do is we combine with other tools, other available tools that can go along with it. Okay, so for example, if you're trading, let's look at one example. Is if we are trading along with the support and resistance, then first, once we're able to identify all this area for supports and resistance, which support it telling us that these are some of the points whereby the share price can hardly to go beyond, go below. Okay, and also the resistance is the point of the high whereby it's very hard to break. So let's say, for example, if we are looking to buy, we really can, what we can do is we can identify the supports, the major supports level for these shares, and we really want to wait patiently and look if there's any bullish candlestick patterns forming at that area. If yes, then we can use the methods, the execution methods that we have shared just now, to grab some shares from there and then try to write the potential rebounds with the stop loss at the tail low. Okay, yeah, so for example, for AAX, Asia X, okay. So in this year, AAX in middle of April, we can see Asia X has been trending lower, and eventually it comes to this point, which is previously a double bottom that happened in 2023. Okay, yeah. So at that point, if Asia X able to clear 1 ringgit 18 cents, they are very much downside potential for AIX. Okay, but eventually it comes to this level at 1 ringgit 18 cents, and what do we see from that is AJX, it formed first, it formed a very small a very small hammer. Next, we are seeing it form a potential inverted hammer. Okay, so one hammer, inverted hammer, and eventually it formed into a bullish engulfing that engulf and overshadow the red candles. So we can see there are three bullish candlestick reversal pattern that are happening at the critical level, the key level. Okay, so isn't that telling us to look into a buy opportunity whereby the selling could be slowing, the selling could be overly done, and this could be the major bounce or major rebound from the key support level. Okay, and of course, if we are buying into this, okay, we might catch it somewhere around 1 ringgit 30 cents area. And how should we handle the stop is we will want to put the low, the low from the low of the reversal as our stop loss, whereby anytime if the price fail to rebound and selling back break below the low, then that is the place that we want to cut loss on our position and relook it again. Because if it unable to rebound but selling down to overtake the low, it's telling us that there is a good potential could uh, the selling pressure could dominate the sentiment again, and then pressure it to even lower level before we can see another rebound. Okay, similarly on notions. Okay, notion this year in somewhere in April near to July, we can see Notion has been rallying from 50 cents level all the way to 2 ringgit 34 cents, near to 2 ringgit 50 cents. Okay, so if we compress and look at the charts, okay, that's exactly the same high that we are looking at in 2020. Okay, so isn't that a critical resistance level that one might want to pay attention at? Okay, so if we are trading on Notion, this counter, and we look back the historical chart movement, and we realize that it has this key resistance level, which is 4 years high at 2 ringgit 34 cents. I really want to be more careful when the share price traded to that area. Okay, especially if we look into the chart, the candlestick patterns, we are seeing an evening star forming over there. Okay, it touched the levels, form a small candles, and the next day immediately pressuring down, reversing on the upward movement. Okay, yeah, and it doesn't sell down all the way from there, but it continues stay stagnant and stay near to the 4 years high level, and forming with all this hangman, with all this doji, and start pressuring lower from there. Okay, yeah. So this candlesticks, but these are some of the signals, some of the hints that the candlestick patterns are telling us. So if we're able to combine with the stock's historical patterns, the historical support and resistance, and read it accordingly, then it would help us to be more accurately capturing those critical moments and act accordingly. Okay. Another example, one can consider to look into RSI, whereby RSI is a momentum oscillator that many use to highlight on the potential overbought or potential oversold for RSI. Okay, so basically, if RSI is trading above 70, that is telling us the share price might potentially reaching a top, forming a top, and might come down. Same thing if the RSI index is trading below 30, okay, that's telling us that it might be forming bottom, because the share price could be oversold already, and that could be start rebounding. So as RSI is going into overbought region, what we can do is we can use what we have learned today, okay, to look for any bearish reversal signals, or if it go into oversold, we can look for any bullish reversal signals, and putting the stop at the low of the tail. Okay, so from there we act accordingly, and then hold through for a potential rebound. Okay, for RSI. Okay, so same thing if we look into Notion example, we can see that with this reversal, if we're looking at the RSI, we can see RSI has gone into overbought regions, and with the forming of the reversal at the key resistance level, RSI is overbought. Even convince us that we really want to consider letting go the position or reducing some of the exposure to reduce the risk. Okay, yeah. So same thing on AX, we can see that as it trade lower to the previous year double bottom low, which is 1 year low. Okay, the selling action has gone into oversold, and we seen three bullish reversal signal happening over here at the key support of 1 ringgit and 80 cents. So isn't that even solidified the idea of a potential rebound, and also the selling could be overly done? That happening right here. Okay, so hopefully with this idea, it can help you to explore more on how to incorporate what we have learned today, the candlestick patterns into your trading method, trading strategy, or you can always join us for our next sections. Next section every month, we will be exploring some of the indicators, some of the basic knowledge about the market, like chart formations, like Fibonacci, like moving average, like RSI, parabolic SAR, all these indicators, and also other components of technical analysis to share with you guys. Okay, so as you guys pick up all this, for those who are not familiar with TA, eventually you will able to blend it all together, and from there able to find some of these high probability winning entry, and also the critical moment to make the crucial decisions. Okay, from there. Okay, so for those who are you already using some of the indicators, if you really still have doubts, or you want to know how to do it better with your indicators, do feel free to ring us up, or drop us PM us on our Facebook Messenger, okay, or ring us up. Okay, you can look for us iPack TV or iPack Online across Facebook. Then we will able to help you through. All right. Okay. So basically, that's to conclude. We are seeing that one of the main usage of candlestick is to help us to identify the momentum of the markets, and one way that many they use is to by recognizing the key reversal patterns, and by combining the TA tools like support resistance, RSI, and all other indicators to spot the potential reversal area to get in, or also we can look for the potential area for the resumption of the trend to go in as well. Okay, so it really depends on whether you are using leading indicator or you're using lagging indicator like moving average, like parabolic SAR. So just combine it accordingly, and from there you will be able to find where are the high probability entry to like really get it. Okay, so if you still have any inquiries, any questions, you can feel free to put into the chat box. Okay, yeah, and yep. Okay, so that would mark the end of our section today. So while we are waiting for some questions, okay, let me share with you some of the ongoing campaign that we are having right now. Is for the very last quarter of 2024, we are having this iPhone 16 campaign, whereby for new accounts, new account opening, there will be a chance to win iPhone 16. Okay, not only that, every month we also have lucky draw with 50 ringgit touch and go reload voucher, reload pins to be given out. Okay, so if you are yet to have any accounts with Inter-Pacific Securities or iPad Online, okay, do feel free to click on the link to open an account, or go to our social media page at iPad Online to open an account from there. Okay, or you can always visit our page interpack.com.my, okay, to open an account from there. Okay, so a little bit sharing on our accounts available is you can always open cash upfront account, which our brokerage is as low as 0.05%, or you can look into some of the collateralized or DF accounts, which you enjoy more flexibility in the trading limits, but also with the best rate in the markets. All right. Okay. Yep. So if you have any questions, do feel free to visit us at our corporate website, interpack.com.my, or you can always reach us at any of all the social media channel as well. All right, okay, yeah. So that will mark the end of our section today. And if there's no other questions, okay, then we will mark the end of our section today. Okay, and again, thank you very much for joining our sections. So my next webinar will be on the 4th of November on my monthly sharing sections on monthly traders talks, to share about the outlook of the market, what to look out for the month of November. And definitely for November, it will be on the US elections and also the next US interest rate cut. Okay, so if you want to know, if you want to hear a little bit more about it, do feel free to join us on 4th of November at 1 to 2 p.m. time. Okay, all right, that will be all for today. Thank you very much and have a good night. Bye bye.